All right, I think I'm going to get started. Hi, everyone. Oh, my video is not showing. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. All right, so hi, everyone. My name is Anna, and we are Epic Events, the organizer of today's Deep Tech Pitch event. Epic is an e-commerce website for frontier technology products and events. Frontier tech includes AR, AI, blockchain, biotech, and other bleeding edge industries. I want to quickly cover the format of, the next slide is not showing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I want to quickly cover the format of the pitch. Each startup will have 4 minutes to present. The judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions. If we have any extra time, we'll open it up to the audience. And then lastly, we'll have 3 minutes for the judges to give feedback. And also really quickly, I'd like to cover the virtual networking portion, which is after the pitch. It's, we marketed as one-on-one. We ended up changing the platform we're using. We're gonna stick to Zoom, and it's no longer gonna be one-on-one, but all the participants will be able to video chat with each other. We will be providing a different link in the chat as we're nearing the end of the pitch. And all you have to do is just click on that link. All right, so on with the show. I'd like to give our judges a chance to introduce themselves. Judges, can you please introduce yourself, your company, any investment thesis, and any prior relevant investments?
So, all right, who's beginning? Okay, I guess I am. Okay. Yeah. All right, first of all, I want to thank Anna, Nadaj, Dan, and Louise for inviting me to this event. Very, very excited. Little bit background about me. My name is Howard. I started a couple startups during high school and got into investing at my 20 and, become one of the youngest associate at Rave. As you can see, not much gray hair. So I'm here to learn, and I'm here to learn from the founders and also these more experienced industry leaders. A little bit about Rave and what we're investing in. So Rave, we invest in hardware, robotic, and deep tech. And our check size is about $3 to $5 million in Series C, in C stage and Series A. Aside from the investment part, we also help startups getting into the Chinese market and also setting up manufacturing operations. Some of our investment including Berkeley Skydeck Fund, Wheelware, and yeah, just super excited to judge for this event, and hopefully my feedback can help all the founders, and yeah, later in our networking session, we can learn from each other more. Thank you.
Thanks, who's next?
Hi, I'm Ronald Weissman. I'm with the Band of Angels. We're the oldest angel group in California, one of the oldest in the country. I'm also on the board of the Angel Capital Association and was a VC for about 17 years with a global fund. At the Band, we invest in everything, almost every sector imaginable, from healthcare to software. I run the software group for the Band. We do clean tech, we do aerospace. There's probably not a sector that we don't do as long as it has deep technology. So tonight is perfect. About a third of our deals are in healthcare. Personally, as an investor, I focus on enterprise technologies, artificial intelligence, and also health IT. For me, to win the way to my heart is to show me why your problem matters and why you're going to end up being number 1, 2, or 3 in your market over time, because those are the folks who ultimately win.
All right, let me be the next then. Thank you, Ron. So I'm Alex. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Azarus. Azarus is an interaction layer that connects gamers, creators, and publishers, and we leverage basically data coming from video games to allow players to set their own rules, stakes, and rewards. So I've been an entrepreneur for about 15 years now, and I started investing in startups other than mine about 10 years ago. I like to invest in technology, and I try to avoid gaming and blockchain because that's a way for me to kind of decorrelate my bets. I usually invest at late seed, early Series A stage, And sometime in the later stage, I did a pre-IPO last year, so that happens. And I recently invested in a couple of companies such as Begin, focusing on serverless stacks, Underground Seller, Kush, which does with tech. This is fun. And I like to invest a lot through syndicates because they provide a great deal flow. And I primarily focus on external signals, who else is investing, who are the leads of the round. And the thing that I focus most on is a proof that the market is huge and that that company is bringing disruption, and that the thesis that they have has early signs, early proof points to support them. So this is really what I'm looking at when I evaluate a new deal.
Okay. All right. Thanks, judges. All right. So I'm going to introduce the first startup. It's Divyesh Modiwala of Spacebirds. Let me quickly find you. Okay.
Hello guys, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. It's a little dark though.
Oh yeah, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. Sorry. Let's see. All right, let's play. Oh, sorry. All right, I'm going to stop my video if that's okay. Trying to, hold on just 1 minute. Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Awesome. So let me start off. My company is called Spacebirds, and basically what our main goal is to make space accessible for all. So before I start, let me ask something. How much do you guys think does it cost to launch a small sat, like 100 kg sat, into space? Just an open question.
I think we have to see.
I guess 12 million.
Any more guesses?
I was saying 10, but I'll go with 12.
Actually, it's well, you are a little bit above. It's around $5 to $8 million just for 100 kg. So it's around $50,000 to $80,000 a kg. So the problem is, it costs $5 to $8 million to launch, 12 to 16 months to wait. Like if you want to launch a small satellite, it takes a year, year and a half, probably sometimes 2 years to launch. With SpaceX, with Rocket Lab, have at it. And you have only very few places to launch the satellite from. Either from, they have a facility in California, some facility in Florida. Pretty much that's it in the States. So we were thinking of this problem, and we came up with a concept of, the solution. What if there was a way to have a satellite launch using a low-cost space launch system that does not use rockets? So it'll cost less than $1 million to launch. There's no wait time, and you can launch from anywhere. So you guys must be wondering, like, how is this possible, right? So the way we do it is that we have a concept of a plasma shielded nose cone that will allow us to launch a small sat using a magnetic launcher. You just build that. It's a one-time, you just build that for a one-time, it's one-time build. And the way you launch a satellite is you put in a pod, which has a plasma shielded nose cone attached to it. So technically speaking, you can't launch a satellite just using a magnetic launcher, right? Because as you increase speed, up to 6-7 kilometers an hour, 8 kilometers an hour, 8 kilometers a second, the friction is so high that it'll just disintegrate the projectile. So this plasma shielded nose cone will prevent the projectile traveling long speeds from disintegrating. So why now, right? So right now, giving you numbers for the 2026 year timeframe, right now it's 5 billion to the satellite launch market, but it'll grow into 16 billion in next 6 years. And right now in 2020, they're going to be launching 1,200 satellites. But by 2026, they'll be launching 4,000 small satellites. So that's why we are doing this right now. To do conservative estimate, this is just a conservative estimate. We are planning to launch 10 satellites by 2021. Goes up to 25, 2022, it costs $1 million. So our revenue is going to be 1 million per satellite launch. So just a rough figure, it'll go up to 100 in 2024, 250 in 2025, and by 2026, it'll be it's me for now as a founding team member, but my plan is to hire some more people. We are raising around 500K to do a small prototype that we can launch a 1 kg satellite by beginning of next year. This 500K will also help us, form a small team and develop prototype. That's it. Any questions?
Yeah. So first question, I think, the electrons components are pretty sensitive. So how are you going to solve? They're pretty sensitive towards magnetics. So how are you going to solve that problem? Because you're using a magnetic launcher.
So you have some sort of a material. It's basically liquid resin. So all the satellite components, whenever you launch a satellite, there's a component that will harden, like it's called a radiation hardening material, that whatever electronics that you have will be protected from any magnetic forces or magnetic fields. So it's a common thing when you launch satellites, even when you build a satellite, like small satellites, you fill that satellite, whatever the gaps are, with liquid resin, which would radiation harden the satellite from different electric magnetic fields. So it's a solved problem that has been solved for many, many years. And so that's what we need.
I have another question that's not tech related. How is that you're alone in the team? One of the things I always look at, and I always tell other peer founders, that when you start a company, if you're alone and you haven't been able to show the potential to someone else and understand it not in your field, that's usually a bad sign. So what's exactly the status right now? Do you have like a prototype? Are you alone? Do you have friends? Like, expand a little bit on that front.
So I am a former graduate student at USC, right, in electric propulsion. So you're saying that why don't I have a team? I'm building it right now. It's just that I just started designing and developing this concept for last year and a half. It's just now that to build a team, to build a prototype, I need money. And that's why I haven't gone out and raised money. But my plan is to raise money and then raise a team. So yeah, I am looking for team members right now. Sorry.
That's great. So my advice here, look for a co-founder. Coming with a co-founder is always a stronger, it's very hard to find the right co-founder. It's actually a tough work. And B, it's a strong sign because being able to have someone else commit to your ideas and come along you is essential in my opinion when launching a business.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Shall we switch into feedback mode? Hannah, you're on mute.
9
yeah,
seconds. 1 second. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Now we go into
since I asked the first question, let me give the feedbacks. I think still need a proof of concept. I don't really see a team here. So I would say if you can't find a co-founder, maybe at least find an advisor your grad.
Okay. Yeah.
You can find some professor to prove this concept, and
Got it.
it will be a lot more funnable, venture backable that way. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
In today's market, you have to bring the investor something, and you may have to bootstrap to your first milestone. Ambitious plan, I love it, but we call this, the technical term for this is science project, where you need to bring us a business plan. You need to show us that that this is financially viable as well as technically viable. My venture firm was we owned Intelsat and Inmarsat, and these were multi-billion-dollar investments needed to build companies like this, and not just for the launch infrastructure, but for everything else. So just develop a business plan along with your technical plan, and you'll have a much higher chance of getting funded.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you take a usual matrix, the tech risk, it seems that you understand the tech, but we have no proof basically that the tech works because there's no prototype yet. The market risk is pretty high because there is a market, it's huge, but do you know how to sell satellites? I'm sure the insurance, there's a ton of things that go around. It's not just about putting a satellite on a launcher. It's about the whole sales cycle, creating those connections. Someone is going to give you a 100-kilogram piece of engineering to put into space. They got to trust you. So there's more to putting a satellite in space than the launcher. And it's not clear for me from your presentation that doesn't touch those aspects. And the team risk also is pretty high as we are. So I think the idea though is amazing. I love how you think out of the box and how you approach it from a totally different way that the others are. So by all means, you should definitely continue. This is great. It just needs to be pushed a little bit further along to Ron's point, to bring something to the investor that we feel that there's a few proof points that will help us want to take the risk. Because the idea is great. I would love to take that risk, but right now it's a big risk.
So you would be looking for just a co-founder. Would that be enough, or a business plan, a technical plan?
I think first, I'm not technical enough to judge whether your ideas make sense. Howard seems to be understanding them better than I do. But the ideas looks really cool. So as Howard mentioned, I think that having a few advisors that add some names and some credibility to your thesis from a technical perspective, a plan for a prototype that's thoroughly documented, that explains where, what, how, and probably in your co-founder, I would look for someone more from the B side that would know how to sell and what it takes from the operations perspective to operate such a business.
What you might do is find an industrial partner as a way to get started that might sponsor a project, that might want to take an early flyer. Folks like the Air Force have a venture group, but there are lots of different organizations that might want to partner with you. Tons of aerospace firms here and in LA. Find an industrial partner, and they might get you your first $1 million.
Got it. Awesome.
All right, Howard, last words, because we are out of time, but want to let Howard say something if he wants to.
No, yeah, good effort, very ambitious. Keep going.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. We are next. We will have Mike Mortimer of Podium. Let's see.
Okay, so is it me next? Because I've just been reconnected.
Yes.
Cool. All right, so I'll just crack on, yeah?
Yep.
Cool, all right, nice. Hi, everyone. My name is Mike. I'm the founder and CEO of Podium, and I'm just going to share my screen and crack on. There we go. All right, all good? Cool. All right, nice. So, yeah, so I've been a mountain biker for 15 years and a snowboarder for 4 years now. And I've always been frustrated that I can't instantly or consistently challenge my friends while I'm on the mountain to find out who gets the most airtime, who goes down a trail faster, or even novel challenges like who fell over the least on a ski trip. And through interviews and surveys, we found that consumers in action sports do want this as well. 90% said they'd consider buying our challenge use case alone, and 60% would commit today if it were available. And we also found that people want to connect with their community more conveniently in action sports. And so Podium is a digital platform for action sports where you can connect with your community, progress your skills, and challenge rivals. Essentially, we're gamifying action sports. So how do we do it? Well, we do it through an IoT device. You attach this to your mountain bike, snowboard, skis, whatever it may be, and that's got a suite of sensors in which allows us to detect your activity and detect your performance. And then you open the app at the end of the day to retell your story. This is where you receive your awards, celebrate your friends' achievements, and find new people to connect with and challenge remotely. There are 200 million participants in action sports today, and they can't realize these experiences because mobile apps like Strava lack integrity. Only 28% trust today's tech. And hardware, electronic hardware like Garmin, lacks community integration. And so our two key differentiators are integrity and community, and how we bring them together is how we deliver these engaging, rewarding, gaming-like experiences. We initially be available through the App Store, where you can download our app and experience some of the community features for free. That becomes a channel. And we also want to be available at bike parks and ski resorts. The new unit and the subscription together will be $170. And then we'd expect you to renew for $70 after that. There will also be a rental option in the future because a lot of people rent their equipment in the snow market. In terms of viability, after optimization of our COGS down to $50, which we know is very realistic, and assuming a customer acquisition cost of $30, we're looking at a gross margin of around 69%. Looking at some of our peer data to understand the scale we could achieve, Strava, we have parallels with Strava, Peloton, Fitbit, and GoPro. Peloton saw 42 million users in 2019. Peloton just achieved, about a year ago or so, achieved an $8 billion IPO valuation. The sports tech market is predicted to grow 20% compound annual growth rate over the next 4 years, so unprecedented growth there. In terms of progress, we've raised $250,000 to date. We've proven our core IoT technology. We've de-risked that. And we've now we're just right at the very beginning of doing some of that alpha testing. In terms of funding and the go-to-market funding requirement, really in total we need 3 million to launch this business properly. But we want to do a 500K round to quickly get us to an MVP that's production grade and secure pre-orders. And then to do a proper consumer grade launch, we definitely need a multi-million-dollar round to do that, to launch us in the market. Our team, excluding me here, has over 50 years in product and brand design experience. We've done this before, and most notably at GHD, where they achieved Red Dot Design Award and IF award-winning products. Lastly, to wrap up here, our vision is to become a digital sports universe and go beyond action sports. But obviously this is far along into the future. But we want to become this digital sports universe where we gamify any physical sport and enable communities to connect and challenge with each other. That's me.
All right.
Two very quick questions. What have your alpha test results shown so far? And second, what kind of distribution channel are you thinking of using?
Yeah, so in terms of the alpha, when I say we're at the start, I mean we're literally at the start of that. So we've just got something we can start testing with. And when I say alpha, I mean like a little, something that resembles what we're going to deliver. Now, the prototype has we've proven out one of our core experiences using the prototype. So before alpha, we've proven one of our core experiences. So we know it works, we know we can deliver it. It's a case of shrinking that technology down, and that's where the money's going. In terms of the channels, we've got the App Store, where we want you to download the app, and then obviously you would be encouraged to compete with your friends. And the only way you can compete with friends is to actually buy the device. You can use the app to connect with people, but you can't compete with them. So that's one of the channels. And the other channel is to actually be at bike parks and ski resorts where people conduct these sports and sell through that way, demo days, that kind of thing. initially.
Okay, I have a question. What are you using to track your thing with GPS, or because like the position of like cities, they can be blocked by buildings, and the position can be a problem because when I drive my bike, if it costs any air, right, I would be pissed off.
Yeah, that's a good point. And and that's why we're launching in the action sports space, where we really won't have that much of an issue, because it's more about getting out onto the mountains amongst trees. We definitely won't have the issue of being in a dense city. So, you know, 99% of the terrain that our market are going to be using is open air in the mountains and whatnot. And yes, we've got high accuracy GPS chipsets in there. Obviously, we have proprietary algorithms running in there, and a suite of orientation sensors as well, which come together to enable us to detect activity.
On one of the first slides that you had, you mentioned that 90% of the action sports segment is interested in competing, and 60% would be buying now. How did you come up with those figures, and what was the methodology?
Yep. So I went up to a bike park in the UK and stood there as mountain bikers were queuing up. And surveyed them. And in the survey, we explained one of our key use cases and said, would you consider buying? And 90% said yes. And then the second question was, for the 60%, was, you know, would you buy this right, you know, today if it was available? And obviously we don't have a price tag attached to that, but we just wanted to demonstrate some commitment, or demonstrate demand. But that was that. So it's just survey results.
Okay. Onward to feedback.
Let me start so I finished. Yeah, so first, I love the idea. That's exactly the kind of thing that get me super excited. There's a few things that I'm not 100% sure of that would need some extra digging. Every time that I see a company that's connected to a hardware device, it's both exciting and frightening at the same time to me. It's exciting because it's always cool to have something physical in your hand. It has some really, like, it's sexy. I just love it. But it's frightening because my first company was in hardware. We did the first Wi-Fi connected robots in the early 2000s. And I have a ton of friends in the hardware business, and I've never seen anything ship on time, ever. So still waiting for that day. So there is always a huge risk in building hardware. And secondly, when you describe your go-to-market strategy, it feels extremely slow and complicated, going in all the resorts, all those places. Basically, we're now at a point where the market is already pretty filled with big brands and names. Go-to-market and taking real estate on the user's phone is hard. And what I found is that the only strategy that really work these days is when you are able to partner with someone that has the audience and the volume. That can be multiple things, but the one-on-one, the demo days, and being there, I think it's great, but it's only one element for creating the brand. The distribution doesn't come really from there and doesn't scale from that point. So that would be my feedback.
Thank you. Yeah, and
I thought the presentation was great. That was a very, very good presentation for 4 minutes. So I want to congratulate you. My concern is very much like the last concern. The sports market is filled with very, very, very many and very, very small shops, distributors. It's very fragmented. It's hard to get to. Very few products make it into a Best Buy. So I would love to see you have a partnership with someone like a GoPro, somebody who owns the action sport market, who also might become an acquirer. But trying to sell and market yourselves, I think, is particularly when $170 is not an impulse purchase for many, particularly many younger people. It's a fair chunk of change. So I really do think you need to crack distribution, potentially via partnerships, to become anything but a niche company. But it's very cool what you're doing. But take golf. There's a zillion golf add-ons to track your golf performance and improve your swing. And they're all tiny little companies. And you need to be thinking out of the box, not to become like them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. I think there's a founder market fit because you've been in the sport for 15 years, right? Actually, we met last time, if you remember me.
Yes, I do remember, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we might need some pre-sale data, and then I guess we can talk because we have manufacturing capabilities and connections in Asia or China. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. All right, next we have Kirill Korotov of Purple Gaze. So let me find you. There we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Kirill, CEO and co-founder of Purple Gaze. Let me share my screen. Do you know that every 10th person over 65 has Alzheimer's? Currently, clinicians can't diagnose the Alzheimer's disease before the first symptoms arise. And at this point, it's already too late to slow down the progression of the disorder. The treatment that doesn't really work, on average, costs $340,000 from diagnosis to death. Purple Gaze eye tracking system enables clinicians to provide diagnostics of Alzheimer's disease years before first symptoms arise. This allows patients to assess their risk of development of the disorder in an affordable and non-invasive way, so health practitioners can intervene timely and significantly slow down the progression of the disorder. Our product consists of ergonomic interface tailored for researcher needs and a hardware that guarantees professional research quality. Advanced image processing techniques coupled with high-speed cameras and parallel computing have allowed us to design better, faster, and 10 times cheaper solution on a single off-the-shelf machine. Our early adopters are research university labs in psychology and neuroscience, and after we certify as a medical device, we expand to the domain of medical diagnostics of neurological and psychiatric disorders, such as Parkinson's, autistic spectrum disorder, Alzheimer's, and schizophrenia. Our total addressable market is higher than $1 billion. And in March 2021, we launched on the Western European market for research universities. This allows us to shorten the time to market and use the generated cash flow to develop user interface for clinical environment. So far, we've built 5 working prototypes, currently finalizing the MVP, and during the last month, we've been able to schedule 4 demos at research universities and received a request from a patient who wants to use our device as an assistive communication tool. We are a multidisciplinary team with complementary skill sets. Our CTO, Dmitry, is a computer science engineer who worked at NVIDIA. Our advisor, Joseph, from HEC University, is an expert in eye tracking. And I'm the second-time founder with expertise in brand management and cognitive science. We are raising $500,000 to move from prototype to mass production, certification as a medical device, scientific validation of our approach, hiring new people, and going to market. We are Purple Gaze. Talk to us.
Okay, I've looked about once a year in the Alzheimer's market. And what's the use case you're solving? The problem in that market historically has been patients don't want to know and there's no treatment yet. So this is purely for research interests. What's the big use case that's going to create massive demand here?
Yeah, so actually it's prevention. So first we are going for for the research universities and then for the diagnostics market. So currently, early diagnostics of neurodegenerative disorders is not possible in a non-invasive way. So yeah, this is new science, and enabling early diagnostics. Clinicians can intervene before the symptoms arise. So it is possible to significantly. It's not possible to stop the progression of the disorder, but it's possible to slow down it significantly. So.
Just a second question. Are there any physicians or diagnosticians or clinicians on your team? Anybody come out of the medical world?
No, but currently, that's why we entered the Health Inc. Accelerator program. So we are currently adding to the team mentors from the medical domain, because we also understand that we lack the domain knowledge there.
All right, I have one question. It's not very clear for me. What's the user experience going through a test like that? Is it like a 5-minute thing that you can just do in a corner? Is it like a longer test? How does that work? What drive me through the journey as a patient here?
All right. So there is no one universal test for each of the disorders. But for example, in case of the schizophrenia, the user is presented with the moving stimuli. For example, the tennis ball. And the schizophrenia patients, they can't follow this movement of the ball, so their eye movement patterns tend to deviate from the ball as compared to the healthy participant. In case of Alzheimer's disease, it's a bit more complicated test, but it would be a pleasure for me to explain it how it works to you later. You want?
Is that 5 minutes or half an hour in front of the screen?
It's about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Choose the middle answer, always. All right, I think we have 3 more minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna start maybe. Actually, I look at similar companies before. As the LP of like Berkeley Skydeck, one of the company called Sea Lighting Technology, and they're able to have like the position in like cellular level. Like they're actually getting their 501(k) device clearance actually, and I think this kind of product has to go through like 18-month FDA approval. So yeah, just give you feedback on that process to let you know. And I think this is a big market. You're definitely like on the right track with that. Yeah.
Well, I like the technology. It sounds very interesting, but there are lots and lots of tests in the market. And one of the things that would help you is if you had any kind of independent peer-reviewed research that says that this is a better diagnostic than all the other simpler methods. The second is you ought to be partnering with a couple of pharma companies, because they're going to be probably the biggest beneficiaries of any technology that actually does do early diagnosis when there are treatments in the market. So I would shift your focus from researchers who never have money for anything to pharma companies who have more money than God. In fact, I think get loans from the pharma industry. So, but really focus on the use case, because I still don't know why knowing that you've got Alzheimer's matters if you can't treat it.
Great. Thank you, Ron. It's about that with the cognitive training and medication at the right time, it's possible to significantly slow down the progression.
Right.
So, I had one question I didn't ask, but I hope that that's part of the feedback. When I look at a company like a presentation like yours, and to Ron's and Howard's point, I think it's a long way to success. So I would shift my focus in that case, specifically looking at patents and IP. Is there anything there that can be patented, that can create value and that you may benefit from without having to exploit directly? Because the direct exploitation of a single test seems to be a very hard adventure. Though developing the IP and having a network of clinics or big pharmas using, selling, and reselling the test, that's something different. So I would probably look into those areas in priority, on top of expanding the credibility from a medical perspective, as I think Ron pointed out earlier. That would be my feedback. So IP first, and then cred and research paper proving that the tech works, and that would send some strong signals for that there is something there.
Great, thanks a lot, Alexander. We are on the right path. I think we are conducting research that would raise our credibility.
And patents.
Good luck, and it's a wonderful problem to solve.
All right, thanks. Okay, next we have Nima Ashtari of Xmatic. And actually, Isaac, our fourth judge, has also joined us. Let me add him as well. Okay, so Nima, when you are ready to start, let me know so I can start the clock.
Great. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, everyone. And you can see my screen, I'm assuming. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for having me. My name is Nima. I'm the CEO of Xmatic, and I'm here today to talk to you about mobility and how it's changing. So, driven by an increased demand in delivered goods and services and an increased usage of public transport and shared mobility, passenger vehicle sales are plummeting while commercial vehicle sales are growing. These new vehicles are operated not by consumers, but by fleet companies. And so they're going through growing pains as a result. That's quite indicative by their 87% driver turnover rate. Meanwhile, level 5 driverless technology is still a ways away from mass deployability because of both cost and geographical limitations and where it can be deployed. And so that's why large national fleets are making gigantic investments in the AV space. Fleets see the benefits of any level of autonomous technology they can get today. Now that's because they have about a 10 times usage rate of a car in comparison to a consumer vehicle. And their drivers do so much more value-added work outside of just driving. And so fleets can see productivity directly connected to how many hours their vehicle is moving. And so our mission is clear: bringing connected and autonomous technology to fleets without selling them trucks. We do this simply by providing an upgrade to their fleet's existing vehicles and don't interfere with their operations, and most importantly, the equipment they've already installed in their vehicles. Our upgrade then transforms fleets into highway autonomous ones and provides software updatability. And that doesn't require them to go to a visit of an OEM dealership, which pretty much charges them an arm and a leg for pretty much everything, but is also incentivized to sell them a new vehicle every time. And so what you're watching is a production level lane cruise kit in a 2016 Sprinter van, driving the same level of autonomy as a Tesla Model S, even though it didn't come with any such technology on board. We accomplished this level of autonomy not by telling the AI about road markings and objects and things of that nature. We've done this by showing it other humans drive. This is important because it allows us to learn how to drive without any hand-labeled data, and instead rely solely on the experience our models have had on the road. this approach scales well, and it adds autonomous functionality as you scale installations and data collection. And so fleet companies could be broken down into several segments: construction, delivery, shuttling, utilities, road services, just to name a few. We're focused on construction and delivery markets, and that's because their drivers do a lot more than just drive when they're behind the wheel. This market represents about 13.7 million vehicles in North America, and for further focus, we're looking at fleets with 5 to 10 vehicles. The reason we're chosen this focus is that fleets are more accessible to our deployment strategy, namely with their local installations and fewer branches. They're also willing to adopt the latest in tech to stay competitive with larger fleets and are so less risk averse. We can leverage our lower autonomy feature requirements now to teach our models with the experience of smaller fleets, and then leverage that to go on to larger ones. Our pipeline is full, and our solution's been validated by our pilots with the City of Toronto, Almond, King, and others. We have interest from everyone in this space, from small to large. However, our challenge is currently with meeting the demand with production capacity. Sales cycles are shorter for smaller fleets, and so that gets us data immediately, and that's why we're focused on them. Our conversion rate post-demo is at 100%, which means when a fleet manager sits in our car, they pretty much want the kit right away. Some of them even want the kit right off of our demo car, and that's sometimes a concern because we can't deliver. We've done this with a big team of who I like to call accomplished multidisciplinarians. Myself, I have around 10 years of experience in the automotive sector with companies such as Tesla, Honda, and Magna. Maddie, our ML lead, is a PhD in machine learning, has over 7 years of experience building production level models. Colin and Scott, our advisors, have combined for 50+ years in startup funding, investing, and growing experience, and so know exactly how to tailor an exit. And so if I could leave you with a thought, car companies can only deliver as many connected and autonomous vehicles as they can deliver cars. Xmatic doesn't have that limitation because we can go on every car. Thank you.
All right, 3 minutes for feedback or question Q&A with the judges.
Who's your major competitor? The last time I looked, there were a handful of companies doing things similar to what you're up to. That's question one. And question two is, are your current customers tire kickers, or are they actually thinking about large-scale deployments? Are you selling to R&D departments, or are you selling to folks potentially going to put this in production?
Yeah, well, all of our customers are using it in their daily usage and their fleets. So they already pay for services such as telematics, and so are quite used to the idea of aftermarket technology being added to their fleets. This is just taking it to the next level and giving them autonomous tech along with connectivity. In terms of
who you're competing with?
Yes, in terms of competitors, the only company that we think currently competes with us would probably be Come.ai, but they're not focused on fleets, they're focused on consumer cars. And we think that's actually where the massive driver for a lot of the value for autonomous vehicles is going to come from, is fleets, not consumers. For them, it's a matter of convenience, whereas for a fleet, it's a matter of dollars and cents, especially if you can focus on solving the smaller, kind of more bound challenges, such as highway autonomy first. And that gives their drivers huge performance boosts because they're doing what they would have done while the vehicle is stationary on the highway.
How much does it cost for a company to acquire one of the systems and run it? What's kind of the business model behind, basically?
Yeah, so our business model is focused on essentially providing connectivity and updatability technology. So it's based on a use case of SaaS, and we amortize the cost of hardware across those monthly recurring revenues. This is very similar to how, again, telematics is deployed with a lot of fleets. They sell you a hardware piece that gives you some information about your cars, and then they charge you a monthly fee for you to have access to that data. We're doing that, and then we're providing autonomy on top of it. For newer vehicles, we could provide our solution for around $600 for the hardware itself only, and then it's a $50 per month subscription. For older vehicles that require actuation technology, it's a higher hardware cost initiation. But again, over time, in terms of amortizing that over a 2-year term, it still ends up being around $80 a month.
Oh,
Sorry, I can't quite make out what you're saying. I haven't seen
It's a
that.
great voice changer. I need that voice changer.
yeah, it sounds like a chipmunk to everyone. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was just me.
The Minion movie, right?
Yeah, the Minion. I don't think it's, Isaac, you may need to type it out and then one of us will read it and then we'll try to fix it. And Howard, did you have?
Yeah, I'm just curious about how he can compete with Comma.ai because they're open source and their community, their tech's pretty strong. So just wondering.
Right. So I think there's quite a few important key elements on sort of the tech side that's really important for us. I think it's having a piece of hardware that's tailored to actually doing the work of autonomous tech or autonomous inference over an extended period of time without overheating and all the other issues that phones may face. On the other end of it, the open source part of Comma AI's product is not actually the part where the autonomous happens. The models are not open source in any real way. And the openness was really intended for the community to do the deployments on new vehicles and sort of expand the user base and vehicles they support. That hasn't actually turned out to be true. And they've limited the scope of how many vehicles they can support to Hondas and Toyotas because they realized the community offered code wasn't able to be validated by them. We don't think there is any real disadvantage in both Comma AI and Xmatic existing. And in fact, we think there's plenty of room in the market for more than one player.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay now?
Oh yeah, now we can.
Yeah, perfect. Now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a chipmunk.
Excellent.
I heard that. Nima, hey, a few things. Good job so far. Number one, where you're located. Number two, what underlying kind of tech you're using, whether that's vision, LiDAR, or radar, or combo. And then how easy is it to retrofit these existing vehicles?
Yeah, so we're based out of Toronto, Canada, and we're primarily focused on North American market right now. Our customers are both US and Canadian customers and fleets of, again, 5 to 50 vehicles as of now. Our kit takes about an hour to install today if you have to have the hardware added. If you don't have to have the hardware added, it's under 10 minutes. Depends on how new the base vehicle is and so how much equipment it has on board. In terms of the sensing technology we use, we're primarily a vision house and use cameras similar to how humans do it. And what, again, separates us in some sense is the fact that we do this end-to-end. We break up the driving problem into two distinct components, the rule-based and the intuitive. The rule-based are things like signs, stop signs, traffic lights, right-of-way, and things that humans have overlaid on top of the environment. And then the intuitive are aspects that are more natural or more common in the natural world, such as animals moving or humans moving in a crowd and not bumping into each other. Those aspects of driving are what we believe you can teach end-to-end without specifying any policy in the middle or any vectors in the middle of your model by hand, which is quite different, and it allows you to scale very fast without doing any hand annotations. And so the only limit to how much we can expand that capability, the intuitive part of driving, is how much data we have and how much fleet deployments we have as of now to learn from that experience.
I mean, that's if you're doing that's very impressive. You're not using any underlying maps. You're not using radar. You're not using LiDAR. There's like hardly anybody in the world besides Tesla, which is pretty risky on some of the stuff they're doing, even doing this. So, and you have how many people? 3 people?
Oh, no, we're a team of 15 people.
Oh, 15. I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah. If you like, I can show you a quick demo of this. This is basically the inner layers of the network. This is not a hand-defined vector, but we've pulled it out in order to show what the network is watching. And so if you were to ask a human to annotate what a car is.
All right, sorry to interrupt you. We actually we've already ran out of time. So
Sure.
yeah, if you want to reach out to each other separately, that's totally, I think that's what we want
Cool.
happen. Howard, did you have a last?
No, I'd be interested to know how you
Thank you.
ghost locomotion and compound eye.
Yeah, so ghost locomotion is very much newer to the field than we are. We've been at it for about 4 years, and we know how to deploy our tech. We have experience with an actual product out there. The only other company in our space that does that is Kama. And so
No, compound eye. You don't know those guys either.
yeah, so ghost locomotion is definitely a comparable, and it's actually a great existence proof for the need for our technology. And we appreciate the fact that they raised $67 million on less than what we have.
Yeah.
Okay, Howard, any last thoughts?
Let's stay in touch.
Yeah, I'm interested in learning more, Nima.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome. All right, so next we've got David Benjamin of Bridget. David, if you're talking, we can't hear you right now. I think you are muted currently.
So I am muted. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right. My name is David Benjamin of Bridget. We are helping the world think and learn together. We're presenting a project called the COVID-19 Info Mapping Project. The Director General of the World Health Organization, who we are now in conversation with, not the Director General, but they're saying that we're not only fighting a pandemic, but we're also fighting an infodemic. And that's because there's so much information coming out. Preprints and journal articles are coming out at an unprecedented rate. There's over 11 billion pages on Google. It's so much that the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases says it gets a little confusing what you can really believe. And we're suggesting a massive online research collaboration that enables professionals working on COVID-19 to collaborate and on the same web page. Now, this is super profound because, as it turns out, the web is actually a social distancing technology in general. If you go to a web page, a news page, and I go to that same web page, we can't know that either one of us are there at the same time. So we're suggesting that there's a new web experience where I can know within a trusted community whether someone else is on the same page. I can send them messages and I can have conversations with them around specific pieces of information. They can do this without any coordination, even if they don't know each other or speak the same languages, via a browser overlay that generates a collective knowledge map for all the insights and data associated with coronavirus and the second and third order effects. Our beachhead market is large. IBM says the cost of poor data is over $3 trillion. Most of that is quantitative, and we're on the qualitative side. We estimate that there's a $400 billion market for qualitative research. And if we just got a small piece of that, it's a very large market. And this alone is just a tip of the research iceberg. We give researchers smart tags that they attach to content snippets so they can create a note on an image. They can create a bridge that links a piece of text on one page to a segment of a video on another. They can put a poll on a podcast. And these smart tags assemble into a map. So the bridges define the connections between nodes, and these interaction nodes are the interactions that are available for that particular node of content. We've been receiving a good amount of traction. We're the only non-European company to win a Next Generation Internet Award from the EU. Our key patent was granted with no prior art issues, and we were selected for the Johns Hopkins COVID-19 Design Challenge. In fact, we just finished that, and we're expecting to be able to have a pilot within 2 or 3 weeks that will be providing Johns Hopkins community of researchers value in terms of helping them understand better what each other is working on. And we've heard from multiple researchers that this is something that would be very useful to them through this process. No one company does everything we do. There are a lot of companies that help you find things. There are a lot of companies that help you store things. There are a lot of companies that help you create reference and metadata around things, but we're the only one that sits on top of the web at the intersection of all these different places. We could partner with every single company on this page. We've got a team that's dedicated to decentralizing and decentralizing linking and knowledge and opportunity. We've got 2 PhDs, 2 Stanford alums, an MBA, an alum from the current TV and quantum resistant ledger exits. Our primary revenue streams are subscriptions, data licensing, and content-driven advertising. The big difference for us with our advertising is it does not require us to track what someone has done in the past or use a cookie, because we're giving them information that would be directly related to what they're looking at. Even with relatively conservative assumptions, we can grow very quickly. We are raising $1.5 million with a safe 20% discount, $8 million cap. 50% of the money that we're raising will be going to our launch plan, 30% for product development, and 20% for G&A, legal, and patents. Thank you.
I have a question. What is your business model?
Subscriptions is the initial way that we're going to be making money, but for this particular project, the COVID-19 project, we're actually going to be looking for sponsors and grants to pay for free access. So basically, the subscription fees will be subsidized by sponsorships and grants.
Do you have any paying customers?
No, we're in alpha right now. We're going to be doing the beta release in a couple of weeks.
Which will be really brief. Second question is, you said that if you only get 1% of the market, you become a gazillion-dollar company. How much is it going to cost you? This is one of my instant kill things when anybody says all they need is 1% of the market. But how much is it going to cost you to get 1% of the market to become worth $400 trillion?
Well, I actually didn't say $400 trillion. It was it was $4 billion as the market opportunity. We haven't even projected out for 10 years or anything to get there. I'm saying in 5 years we're going to get to what is it, 30 million, no, $250 million in 5 years.
What's it going to cost you to get there?
To 250 million in terms of investment. We're looking at $15 million.
And I meant in terms of operating expenses. When you have 1% of the market, what will your costs be?
I'm not claiming that we're going to get 1% of the market in the next several in the foreseeable.
So on the product, what's your strategy to keep the content that's being pinned or added to the web relevant and uncluttered?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
So if I understand the product right, you basically add content to existing websites. How do you keep that content, like those polls and those nodes and those connections, how do you keep that relevant and uncluttered over time?
I guess I wasn't clear at all. We don't We don't add content to any sites. What we do is provide an overlay that's on top of the sites that basically enables people to interact with the content on the page.
So it's live interaction. It's not, you don't leave a note that someone else can see later. It's a, you're assuming that you will have two persons that know each other that are going to be on the same page at the same time.
No, actually, you're correct in that we can leave notes. When you said content, I thought you meant web page content. So you're talking about note content or bridge content,
polls, whatever. That's content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So how do you keep that amount of content uncluttered?
How do we keep it uncluttered? Oh, well, by the structure of how we present the information in a way where essentially as you move your attention on the page, if there's something near what you're looking at, we're going to show you all the context for it, but we don't show it all at once. We show you the overview. So you want to know how much conflicting versus supporting information. And then if you say, you know what, I see that there's 75% conflicting information, I want to drill down on that. You drill down on it and we'll show you basically a map view that's a force-directed graph that shows the nodes. You saw the picture where I showed the nodes and that connect all the different items in the map.
Does this require the user to do the tagging, or do you do automatic tagging?
We're going to be doing, it's going to be a collaboration between researchers and AI. We believe that there always will be, AI will always need, at least in the foreseeable future, to have a human in the loop, but we think that AI can do a lot of things a lot faster, and we'll be leveraging both to do the best things that they both can do.
All right, guys, we're gonna move to feedback.
So my first feedback, if I may, so I think it's very ambitious. I've seen a few ideas around the same patterns, which is basically tagging and leaving pieces of information like a trail of where you've been, what your thoughts were. I always feel like, and I need to see the product to feel otherwise, but I always feel that it's the UI and UA challenge, the UI UX challenge to present information in a way that actually brings value as opposed to destroying value by the amount of it on a page. So that'll be the first thing. I'm not sure I have a clear vision after your presentation of what the product really looks like and how I would use it, nor can I project myself really understanding why it would bring me value. So that's something I think that's missing in the presentation for me, really understanding that, because this is really product focused and I'm still unclear about what the product, how it works and how it will come together.
Thank you.
Yeah, David, Isaac, I mean, this concept's been around for a while. The issue is it's just a lot for most of us, including myself, to get their head around. And I think even what Alexander was saying, it's like nobody's really shown something that's demonstrable or works. And so if you really want to pursue this, I would get something that's like a kick-ass demo and just really lights people up. Because conceptually, it just blows everybody's mind. Because right now we're kind of hyperlinking and connecting that way. You're talking a whole nother level of metadata that's going above that, but nobody really kind of gets it because even hyperlinking is kind of complicated for everybody anyhow. So I'm not saying it won't happen, but your number one challenge is to articulate how it's going to happen and show it.
Yeah, thank you.
People have been proposing solutions like this for a long time, and it would be fabulous if they actually worked. Really fabulous, but you can't change user behavior. If you can use your AI to automatically tag stuff, that'd be awesome, as long as you have a group taxonomy. But I would, just like Isaac said, focus on solving something for someone now before you compile the universe. Do something pragmatic that's within a conceptual scheme that doesn't require tens of thousands of researchers to change their behavior. But if you can do something for someone, then maybe you have something. But focus on your AI tagging, because that's where the innovation is. People just don't like to tag stuff. So don't bet on changing people's behavior, but go for your AI.
Thank you.
I think there's a learning curve and education costs to educate users. So I agree with Ron that we should maybe focus in one area and slowly expand that niche. So
Do you all, did you all feel that COVID is not one area? It sounds like, is that what you're saying?
It is at some point. Yeah. So, I mean, just a suggestion too.
So if you take the COVID example, I'm still unclear what the product does for COVID.
Well, there's an infodemic right now. They say it's as bad as the.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt, but you got to show how it kind of works, because right now everybody can hyperlink to everybody, but you got to show what your meta is going to do that's beyond just hyperlinking.
Yep. Yeah.
By the way, man, I'm just looking at the other panelists here. It's a weird set of backgrounds all you guys have. By the way, must come on. One's raw, another one's got guns, the other one's in the White House. I don't have a background. I'm really me. So I don't know what you think, David. What's your comment on that? This one guy's shooting guns. The other guy's going to WWE. This dude's Trump.
There's a text analytics conference in Berkeley in the next couple of months that's one of the world's best for text. You might want to try to participate in that. And via contacts and potential customers. It's a great place to go.
Wait, where is that? UC Berkeley, you said?
I believe it's going to be at Berkeley. It's at least it's organized by a guy there. It's one of the world's best text analytics conferences. I say it's because I used to run a text analytics company, so I have some experience in the space. But try to network in the community to see what other people are doing. Because I think you gain some great partnerships. Let me put it that way.
And what's the name of that? Do you have an idea?
If I could pull up my email, I would tell you. But
okay, all right. Well, thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
can't hear you, Anna. You're muted yourself.
Oh shoot! After telling everyone else that they were muted, I muted myself. Okay, I was saying thank you for. Okay, all right. So thanks, David. We're gonna move on to our next pitch. So we've got Gwen McDonald from Jazzy Snap.
Oh, shoot. Do
you want to press the, oh, I don't know if you have the, your presentation, just press the share screen in the middle.
And then there's a lot of selections like desktop.
It's the green in the center. It's green icon. It says share screen.
Yeah, I did. But you went to my security and privacy. Oh.
Howard, what's with the raw, man? And then Alexandra, what's with the guns?
So the gun's actually a great game. This is called Rainbow Six Siege.
This is my company. I'm getting raised.
Well,
this is my customers.
Advertising for my company right now.
Okay, Alexander, why do you have a bunch of shooters behind you?
That's Rainbow Six Siege. It's one of the it's a top game from Ubisoft, and Ubisoft was one of my customers.
And
so I just ended up playing a lot.
In everyone's background.
All right, yeah.
Sorry, Gwen.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, great. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Gwen, CEO and founder of Jazzy Snack. We are revolutionizing the way people structure their eating habits. People today suffer from the complexities offered by different numbers of meal kits app to weight loss. 11 million deaths globally is attributed to poor diet every year. And in US, more than 550,000 deaths due to either eating too much of the wrong food or much too little of the healthy type. Meal kits are generally designed to cook at home, but not slim down. A diet plan is great to customize diet and people log their food consumption, but people still struggle to keep the weight off after the program is over. Some of the diet meal kit plan offer the diet coach to help the people to keep engaged long enough in the process. However, diet coach is not available at meal times and weekends, which you wanted them most. Restaurant foods, everybody loves restaurant food, but the menu is extremely messy. People spend more than 30 minutes to browse through restaurants to find meals that is supposedly right for them. So price is a concern for people, especially they are paying way over too much for what they are not getting it. So we have a solutions. We empower people to take control of their long-term lifestyles. Our customers can save money when they're on our restaurant's diet plan. They can enjoy eating in which diet and health goals are no longer mutually exclusive. The customers are able to engage with our personalized diet menu board anytime, anywhere. And now customers could share quality time with others in no times in the meal. Ultimately, we want customers to embrace healthy restaurants diet meals as a gift to keep them energized, improve their health, boost their mind, and feel great anytime, any day. Now, let me show you how our app works. We will ask customers to set profiles such as age, gender, height, and weight. Then we'll ask the customers to set the health and wellness goal that they would like to achieve. And finally, we'll ask them if they are already on any diet plan. Lastly, we will ask if there is any food allergies or religious dietary restrictions we should be aware of. Once we have those informations, we collected the data, we calculated it, and create a customized diet plan they should be on and match that plan with the meal choice prepared by the restaurants. That is as easy as that. Despite that Americans spend over $60 billion per year trying to lose weight, we are targeting anyone who wanted to lead a healthier life. According to the report, the market size in US has a combined market of $103 billion, including the restaurants, delivery, health, weight loss and wellness plan, meal kit plans, which is not cooked, etc. So now you know. We will lock in two revenue streams: the subscription fees from the customers and the kickback commissions from the restaurants. As you can see, our competitive landscape, we are in the intersections of two major consumer trends. And we will be the first to market the diet plan. Everything's are run on a single platforms 24/7 and is hassle-free. So we're looking at, for 12 months, financing at $1 million to go fast. We want to scale our team. Currently, we have 4 contract developer, 2 full lab, 2 data scientists, 2 full-time myself, and a creative directors, 2 advisors, of which 1 advisor is a restaurants expert. And then we want to further develop our products, big push in sale to reach our year 1 target revenue. So we are going to change the way people think of restaurants, diet plans, and wellness. If you like to take part in this revolutions, please come and see us. Let's grow JD Snack together.
All right. So one question I want to ask is, how are you going to deliver those food?
We don't do delivery. We use the third-party aggregator delivery to do it. Or alternatively, we would use the restaurants which already have their delivery capability.
Then what is your competitive advantage?
The competitive advantage is that we match you because we understand your diet plan. The diet plan is not about just losing weight, it's about gaining, it's about your stress level, increase your productivities and so forth. Like DoorDash, Grubhub, they don't do that. They give you as is menu. We provide the matching diet based on your criteria, your goal. We then match you with the meal choice. those meal choice is not as is collected from the menu. We filter those meals that is not necessary for your plan and display the useful choices. And on top of that, we provide you with the nutrition label. Currently, if you do online order, they don't provide you the nutritious information such as saturation fat, calories, carbs, and so forth. Unless you dine in or restaurants has more than 20 chain store, you could have those on the dine-in menu, but not on the delivery menu.
So you own the restaurant, or you partner with the restaurant?
We partner with the restaurants. So the restaurant provide us those informations. We will calculate those informations. We'll get the nutritionist to assist us to provide those informations.
What have you done so far? Where are you in the process of building out the company?
We basically launched the beta testing, and it's very successful. And we actually did a soft launch of the website a month ago, and we got 500 users eager to sign up with us. So based on the timeline, we will launch the first iOS mobile app in July, most likely in end of July.
What was the success? You mentioned success. What was successful about what you've done so far?
We run the beta tabs and everybody loves it for the fact that when they are at home, they can still track their plan. When they are away, they don't have to rely on the meal kit, because meal kits only provide you that 2 weeks in advance. And if you're away traveling, there's nothing you can help to stay on diet. So our applications works both ways.
Okay, I have one last question real quick. What's the margin? How much money do you get for every meal that you sell? Because basically it's affiliation, right? So.
Okay, so we get the subscription fees, monthly subscription fees from the user, $12.99. And then from the kickback from the restaurants, it's about 20% for every order the user make.
And so is it from the restaurant, or is it from Uber Eats or whatever delivery system is actually doing the delivery?
The delivery is done by the middleman. Is nothing to do with us.
Okay.
So the user pay the delivery on our app. Okay, they place the order on our app. Immediately, this order goes to the restaurants. Then we get the kickback from the restaurants at 20% for every order the user make.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move to feedback.
Yeah, it sounds like you're like a Gnome or a Weight Watchers subscribe, and we're going to help you. We're going to figure out what you should eat, and we're going to deliver it to you. And you're using really the existing restaurants and delivery services. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
we don't provide the delivery.
I would just, as quick as you can, see if you could really prove out those customers, whoever you're targeting, whatever that geo, whatever location is, really, it really works for them. I mean, Gnome has done, Weight Watchers done a great job, and Gnome's done a great job, and there's no doubt there's a lot of people that want to control what they eat. So, but you just have to prove it out and prove you can scale it. And good luck. I mean, it sounds like I would say subscription's going to be probably better for you. If you get in between the restaurant and the delivery company, it's going to get ugly right now. It's going to get even uglier for those guys without you. So you should probably just rely on your subscription. But if you can prove it out and you get people to join your club, like Weight Watchers, then you could do fine with this.
Right. Weight Watchers, one thing is a little bit setback because their meals is raw and is frozen, so you have to cook.
No, I understand, but it's the same concept. It's just you're using your app to kind of figure out what they want, and you just deliver it from whatever you feel is the local delivery, restaurants and delivery services.
I think my feedback would be probably, if I go to the gym, think about if I go into the gym, right? I would want to use the kind of app like this, maybe have like workout components to it. Well, if you try to expand some features there, so.
Oh yeah, we sync into your activities app.
Oh.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, but I wouldn't get stuck in the activities. I mean, come on, 80% of your weight is what you eat, not how you work out. I mean, it's the same thing as Weight Watchers, same thing.
You want to get muscle, don't you?
I mean, a lot of people want to just
Want
lose
to get
weight,
both.
Howard. That's number one thing they want to do is lose weight, and then if they could get muscle later, that's good. That's for you, buddy. You're that young and in shape.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. So a lot of people thought that was the case, but actually it's not. So when you lose weight, you lose the fat. But then at some point, you will no longer lose weight. Your fat turns into muscle, and you stay in that weight, and you will never reduce it. So a lot of people
we have a nutritionist. All right,
Howard, man, it's only when you're lifting weights, man. It's like the big thing. It's 80% consumption.
All right, consumption. Okay, let's talk. I think I'm interested. Good idea. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, thank you so much. Any other feedback?
I think you just got to prove it works. It's I know the GNOME guys very well. I've known him forever. He's stayed with it. He figured out what his consumers wanted, and he got them to sign up, and he's had tremendous success. Same with Weight Watchers.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that they can't control what they eat, and they need help.
Yes, to Isaac's points, I think the key here is finding which demo you're actually targeting, because the long list that you showed in the app basically is a pointer that you don't exactly know. You don't have one target audience, and breaking into any new market and acquiring an audience works only if you are razor sharp focused on who is your target customer and who is your persona. So if you're trying to get anyone conscious about eating, that's basically technically probably everybody thinks that they are conscious about eating, so it's too broad. You have to be into maybe like that guy that has, I don't know, like Crohn's disease or whatnot, like something very super specific, easy to target, to segment, and to find, and that's going to be your test group, and you have to work around that and expand, because going super broad like that is just recipe for getting everybody and nobody.
Right, that's a good point. But our ultimate goal is to release the stress and increase the productivity, because it works both ways. Either way or not, you are eating, you're high stress because you eat so much. So you want to reduce stress to eat a diet plan.
Okay, did anyone, I think maybe Ron, did you say your feedback? Okay.
In that area that I could be helpful with.
Okay, yeah. Hold on a second. I think before the sharing, I need to change Gwen's status. All right. Okay, Jason, I see you're still on mute, so you may want to unmute yourself, and then I will let you share your screen. Oh, this is Jason Cavness with Cavness HR.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jason Cavness. I'm a retired U.S. Army officer, have 30 years experience in HR, and have previous startup experience. This is Margot. A few years ago, Margot started a company and quickly grew to 25 people. And Margot realized she needed help with HR. Margot wanted to hire an internal HR person, but could not afford the salary at that time. So Margot bought an HR consultant. HR consultant told Margot, you need to build an employee handbook, HR policies, other products for your company. Margot said, yes, I know that. That's why I brought you on. When can I expect you to provide this for me? The consultant said, oh no, I just consult you on what to do. You have to do everything yourself. So Margot said, let me get this right. I'm paying you to tell me what I already know needs to be done, and I have to do it myself. So Margot quickly parted with HR consultant. Margot then went to one of the large HR companies and was quickly dissatisfied with them. Whenever Margot had an HR question, it took the company at least a week to reply. Cavness HR is being built for people, small business owners like Margot, who knows HR is important, but either can't afford current solutions or are unsatisfied with the current solutions that they can afford. According to the Small Business Administration, there's over 5 million companies in the United States with 50 or less people. Majority of them don't have HR, either because they can't afford the salary, which can be $75,000 or more plus benefits, and HR consultants who overcharge and underdeliver, and the large HR corporations who have a lousy user experience. Each year, small business loses $27 million because of bad HR, what comes out to around $10,000 per employee per year. At Cavness HR, we're going to deliver HR based on the location and industry of our customers. We provide a customizable online platform and provide HR products and services, and also a HR business partner who provide responsive HR advice to our customers. Our team, of note, our board of advisors all came to us after being guests on our podcast. The service of our timber market, $653 million. That's the HR consultant market from the state of Texas up to Canada and to the West Coast. A lot of competitors, 7,200 competitors in the space, from one-person HR consultants with a few customers to large companies like Zenefits, ADP, and TriNet. Of note, the top 50 companies account for 70% of their revenue. And Bambi is who we consider our number one competitor. Bambi has raised $8.5 million in funding so far. For the business model of core HR, based on location and industry of a customer, we provide labor posters, HR laws, handbooks, policies, onboarding, job descriptions, and a dedicated HR partner who provide HR advice, responsive HR advice. Some milestones, back in March, we were accepting a Patriot Bootcamp out of the Bay Area, and we were accepted into the Hofstra Veterans Venture Challenge in Long Island. Our beta pricing model, we plan on doing HR for free for companies with less than 10 people to provide them the importance of HR. I'd like to tell people we're not selling donuts or candy bars at Cabinets HR. It's going to take a lot of touches. So we made a concerted effort to have a strong social media presence through our podcasts, live streams, weekly newsletters, and daily tips. I think we've done a good job of that. And we have 50 customers on the wait list. We're seeking a $900,000 seed round at a 3.6 mil pre and a 4.5 post. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to your questions and feedback, and remember to be great every day.
Yeah, hey Jason, Isaac Babs here. How you doing today? You in Texas, it sounds like?
No, I'm in the Seattle area.
Seattle, okay. You kept talking about Texas, so I was.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know, I hope you guys are south. Where are you in? We're in Seattle. What part?
I'm in a town called DuPont, like 45 miles south of Seattle.
All right.
By Fort Lewis, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of distance from the epicenter there. Hey, so you had a team there. You went through it pretty quick. How many of them are developers? With my number question on that. And then why do you have a wait list? I mean, if you have a wait list, why don't you turn them into customers?
They all want to wait until the platform's completed. Because right now, with two customers, we're just doing copy and paste. So the majority of them want to wait until the platform's ready.
Yeah. So tell me a little about like how many developers you have and where's the platform? So
for the platform, we're actually having to build up we're outsourcing right now to a friend of mine has a software development company in Seattle. So I'm using him until we do the MVP and then bring on CTO after that.
So do you have any developers on your staff?
No, not right now. I don't know.
Okay.
Could you, in one or two sentences, just describe what the core service or product offering is?
Yes, we're going to deliver HR to companies with 49 or less people across the United States.
And so how is it different from Gusto, for instance?
So Gusto, they're payroll, we're not payroll. And Gusto, they provide templates. Like example, Gusto has 100 customers, right? Each of those customers will get the same template for handbooks or policies. And every time you call Gusto or any other HR company, you have a different person answer HR call. We're going to give each customer like set a question and answer. Those questions will determine their handbook and policy and other HR products. Each company will have a dedicated HR business partner that will be based on the location and the industry.
It's interesting. That answer makes me think of Atrium, which is not for necessarily the right the right signal right now, but the Atrium had the same pitch for legal in companies.
Okay.
Anyone else? If no one else has any other feedback, we can actually open the floor to the audience. If you have feedback or questions.
Yeah, open to the audience. Yeah. I want to see what
press the button. You should see raise hand, and then I can see you.
By the way, who is the audience? How many people are out there?
Oh, there's at least 30 people joining us right now.
Hi, audience.
All right. Yeah, Kent, I will allow you to talk. And Kent, I did answer your question in the chat. So I hope this is specific to Jason and relevant to him. Kent, your audio. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Can I be seen?
Yeah, I think you just have to undo the video that's on the bottom left.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, we're we're making an advanced scientific instrument disguised as a toy. It's a system with 1 million passively addressable solid-state nanopores. It can see viruses. That's easy.
Oh wait,
and we're talking to. Sorry, go ahead.
So sorry to stop you right there. Yeah,
This guy's been wanting to pitch.
We can't do your pitch right now. So this is only in relation to Jason and his pitch right now.
So, okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Okay, in that case,
because you can open up to the audience for the other pitches, so I thought it was a free for all. Sorry.
No, sorry, not right now.
I love his ambition.
Yes.
Jason, so I think maybe let's jump into feedback here.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you some like pretty brutal feedback. You know, like I've been doing tech startups for a long time and stuff. You need to really, ideally, get your own dev team you control, and you can control your own platform. That's really hard. I know that. So that's number one. And then number two, as Alexander is kind of alluding to, you know, there's Gusto, there's Zenefits, there's Ripple, there's a lot of these players are bundling everything together. A lot of them are, quite frankly, selling insurance and then giving the HR away for free. So you're going to have to figure out how you're going to beat those guys that are giving your product away for free, or somebody like Ripple now, which was, you know, the same guy that started Zenefits. He was trying to kill the insurance brokerage industry. Now he's like partnering with the brokerage industry, and all these brokers are spending now a lot of time and energy doing HR products, and maybe those are the better guys to partner with because they need an HR product of some sort. So that's kind of my feedback.
Thank you.
It would be
Really
helpful
appreciate
to know the usage of capital. You're raising 900,000. What, you know, it'd be helpful to know what that $900,000 is going to achieve in terms of milestones and metrics. That might make it a bit more tangible for investors.
Yes, understood. Thank you.
Quick comment. So in the metrics, you talk about the usability and how the product is great for the customers, and yet the slide are forced and don't look super awesomely designed. If so, I think in terms of messaging and showing the vision, showing the product and creating a brand and showing that you actually know how to do a UI, UX, something modern, and that would be super helpful, because the forced slides are awkward in 21st century.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Hey, yeah, Jason, another idea here, you know, you're a veteran, God bless you, is, you know, partnering with like USAA and their agents might be a good way for you to really get, just have them be your clients. You know, they're offering HR services through you to their clients.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, that seems like something that you're very connected into. And then there's also the Navy version too, of these different credit unions that sell insurance and stuff.
Yes, thank you very much.
Does anyone else want to give feedback? No. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Then we will move on to our next pitch. It is, let's see, hold on. All right, so next we've got Devin Copley with IMEV. So let me promote him to panel.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is our last pitcher for today. Devin, just to let you know, both your screens are on mute right now.
All right, now you should be able to hear me and see my deck, yeah?
Yep.
All right, off we go. So thanks everyone for your time. Happy to be here. Thanks Anna for hosting. My company is called Amiv. We make a product called Avatur, which is provides remote presence. The problem we solve is that business people have conversations about places, whether it's investors, auditors, architects, marketing personnel. They often are dealing from headquarters with properties, branches, job sites, factories that involve traveling out there and meeting with the people on site. These require travel. Video conferencing is cheap but a poor substitute for travel, especially when that context matters. And of course, within the last 6 weeks, travel has become not just expensive, but dangerous and or impossible. We have a solution. Avatur is a video conferencing technology that provides high context with low cost. And let me explain what it is. This is location immersed conferencing. We allow multiple remote users to experience a real place in real time, talk to the people there, and see the entire surroundings. The host uses a 360-degree camera attached to our mobile app, and the guests can use a VR headset for a fully immersed experience or any web browser for the most convenient experience. This allows them to see the entire space, to be able to travel through it with the hosts, and be able to make the kinds of decisions that require context. Here is an example of the product from inside a headset. The video being run through the webinar doesn't look great. It looks a lot better inside the product. But what you have here is 2 people who have joined a session remotely and are talking in real time to the construction foreman. They appear to him on his screen. They appear to each other as avatars, and they can talk to him in real time. This is a new product category. There is no exact analog to what we do. We combine 3 things. We are immersive, we are interactive, and we capture the real world. There are a number of startups and very successful companies that do 2 of these things, but we are the only one that combines all 3. The opportunity is quite large. We use travel spend as a proxy for figuring out what is the kind of money that industries are currently spending around these kinds of conversations. The annual travel spend is obviously quite huge, and in fact some of that budget is being redirected as we speak towards alternate solutions. 0.1% of that spend, even just in a few of the potential target sectors, is $100 million ARR, including a cost reduction for customers. Now, the tech does require, any startup requires a moat, and we are concentrating on defensibility and network effects at a variety of levels. But notably, the fact that we are a communications platform itself channels the sort of classic Metcalfe-style network effect, and we're already seeing it with some of our customers. They invite their customers to join a session. They say, what's this tech? Hey, can we get a demo? We are experts in this technology. Prasad and I have been working together for 5 years, initially at Nokia, where we helped invent the 360 camera. We filed over a dozen patents in the field, and we have a long history of innovation. We have a team of about 7 full-time people now, and a number of, contractors. We have a number of customers. We started in beta mode in fall last year. We've since converted several pilots to annual, and you can see these are some of the larger and more forward-looking names in the world. These are just sort of the big names. We've got a number of smaller customers as well. We're also working closely with partners. The telcos are key enablers for our tech, and we see great potential to use them as channels. Current ARR over 175K. Our quarter-over-quarter revenue growth is 350%, and our month-over-month web traffic is over 200% up. Clearly, the coronavirus has turned what was has made crossing the chasm much easier. The chasm is a lot smaller than it was 3 months ago for us, and we're finding it a lot easier to close deals. We are looking for a $2 million seed investment. We've been bootstrapped to date, but the opportunity at this point is really ballooning, and we need to take advantage of it. So we're looking to bring in some external money for the first time, clean cap table, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks.
Could you walk us through your business model?
Sure. I left out the business model slide for time. It's basically Zoom. You can think of it as a SaaS enterprise play where we're the software. The hardware that we use is off-the-shelf stuff. You can buy it at Best Buy. This camera costs $500, standard Android phone. We do provide the hardware. Sorry?
Or do you sell the hardware to your customers?
We do if they want it. You know, we'll provide turnkey kits. We can send this to a job site so that it literally open it up and you're ready to roll. If you're price sensitive, you can buy it yourself off the shelf.
So what's your revenue forecast for next year, assuming that the world comes back?
Well, honestly, the world doesn't need to come back for us. We're replacing travel for the folks who can't travel anymore. So whether it comes back or not, I think the fact that people are looking for new solutions right now.
What's your revenue projection?
We're looking to hit $1.5 million ARR within 18 months, forward ARR. And that's based on the influx of about $2 million starting now.
So what's a user pay per month?
We don't have enough users to accurately see what's our capacity to sell total numbers of licenses into an org. I'll give you an example. Thermo Fisher called us up and got 3 licenses. Each of those licenses is about 10 grand annual. They then called us up and asked for a quote for 25, and that's what we're working on right now. So if I close that out with them, that's a $250K annual. Yeah.
So what's I mean, Devin, good job. That's great. I'm glad your business is growing great. Hey, what's the big kind of thing that's pushing them from just a regular phone, a FaceTime, or video to go even more immersive like you're offering?
That's a great question. And we ask ourselves 2 questions as we were developing the product. Why does it need to be live? And why does it need to be immersive, right? And the fact is, we don't position ourselves as a replacement for video conferencing. Video conferencing is great for the kinds of meetings you have in conference rooms where you're looking at people's faces and you're sharing a deck or a video. Excuse me. We work for meetings where the surroundings are crucial to the meeting, where they're the point, whether you are buying or leasing property or insuring property or doing location-specific sales or inspections or audits or training. That's a pretty broad range.
Construction reviews. Why didn't you say construction reviews?
Construction reviews, indeed. Yeah, those. I mean, the use cases really fall into 3 sets, right? One is sort of inspections, audits, client reviews. Those sort of client walkthroughs. Those are all slightly different, but they're kind of the same thing. The next is sales, whether it's property sales or we've got a company in Illinois that makes plasma cutter machines, right? These things are the size of 3 rooms, and they close a deal by bringing people to their factory, which is in the middle of Illinois, 3 hours away from O'Hare. People don't like to go, right? So they want to close sales with a immersive visit rather than a real world visit. And
is that like a live visit, or is that a video replay, or could it be both?
We can support either. Video replays are not that interesting. They're pretty easy to do. There's dozens of companies that can do that for you. The live immersive experience is something that really only we're providing.
What about user interaction? Can users interact with stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that's crucial. The users can interact with each other. They see each other as avatars within the space, and they can also interact with the people on site. So literally, they appear on the screen here, and you can talk to them. And it's quite a profound experience when you put on a headset and suddenly you're standing next to somebody in Tokyo in their room, and you can talk to them about where they are, and they can walk you through a space. It's quite a compelling experience.
And in terms of communication-wise, what's your advantage towards other software out there?
We're using a collection of video technologies at the moment. We're not a video company. We're a remote presence company. So we're looking towards additional kinds of technologies, 3D reconstruction and these sorts of things. But for the moment, doing 360 video well is quite hard. Combining it with all these other technologies, avatars and headsets and such, is also quite hard. And we've got a good 6 to 9 month lead over anybody else who would think to try it. That's not to say we can't maintain that lead without some cash, which is why I'm out shopping.
All right, guys, we're going to move to the next feedback and our last portion.
I liked what I'm hearing. I think you guys did a very good job, except you need to communicate a little bit more the value of live. I've seen some construction management companies using this technology for documentation, to instantly figure out what's changed since the last site review, to look at work quality. But I think there's a lot here. The live thing, I think you just need to market a little bit better. I'd love to see you form an alliance or be blessed by some professional association, whether it's in construction or an analogous market, or hotel management or site selection for chain stores. I think you've got something, but I'd like it'll be a little bit crisper about the use case and the rationale for live. But if you can form some partnerships, I think you have a very nice business. So thank you.
I had a very similar feedback. I think this is pretty awesome. And for me, the way I would have voiced it is, I think you have a ton of opportunities. There's no doubt. There's a ton of use cases. I think you need to pick the one that's growing most, that has the most potential today. That's the that's most ready, and work on your sales funnel. That's going to be the key to proving out. You don't need 10 use cases. You need one use case and the go-to-market that works, and the funnel that works, and automating the sales. That's I think that was what I felt was a little missing here, and that you can definitely improve on, because I feel that you have everything already. It's just about figuring out which is your North Star in that ocean of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think you can expand, maybe providing vision analytics to try to collect data to increase some efficiency of some factories or like places like assembly lines. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I think we should talk. Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
And Anna is muted.
I'm muted. Dang it. Okay.
What's the pre-money valuation you're asking for? Was that 3.6?
I'm sorry, Ron, what did you say?
Was your pre-money valuation 3.6? Is that what you're looking for?
No. I didn't say a pre-money valuation, but
what is it?
I mean, I'm looking to raise 2 on a 12.
Okay, 2 on 12.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my advice to you is, Devin, you probably need the money. Be flexible. It's a little hot today, like really hot today. Unbelievably hot today.
Yeah, valuation is.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you shouldn't even say that. Just say you're raising $2 million and try to see what they're going to say back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you need the money, it's just tricky times to raise right now.
Yeah, I don't need the money. That's the nice thing.
Fine, then don't raise. My advice: if you don't need money, don't raise. Okay. Because you're just diluting yourself. Where are you based out of, by the way?
San Francisco.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, and how many developers do you have?
We have 4 full-time, including our CTO. And,
in San Francisco?
No. We can't afford to hire here. Prasad's here. I'm here. Everybody else is remote.
We're in Texas, are you?
We're in San Francisco.
What?
In San Francisco.
Oh, in San Francisco. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 people in San Francisco. They have the other rest around the world. My only advice to you too, as doing this, is that most likely somebody's going to acquire you, Devin. Mm-hmm. It's you do have to have some core, ideally some core engineering team sitting in the States, because that's one of the reasons they're going to buy you.
So a similar acquisition, Isaac, that happened not long ago was Mimesis. It's a French company. They were doing telepresence. They got acquired by Magic Leap. So they were in Europe. So I think you don't necessarily need to have your engineering side to be relevant for big companies.
Completely. That was Magic Leap. They're a bunch of freaking idiots. So, I mean, they're going to probably go out of business.
We'll
But
see.
good luck.
How much are we betting? That sounds like a good way to finish the
How much do you
evening.
want to bet? You want to
I think Isaac's excited to have that.
$100, $1,000 on it? I mean, they're out of money.
And we're going to hold you guys to it.
Let's write an oracle and put a bet on it. Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
fine.
if you want, most likely
Evan, I
you're going to
think-
be sold. It's better to have, I guarantee you this, it's better to have a local engineering team.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay,
they're pretty
Evan, I
pricey,
think these guys are interested.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Devin. So, yeah. Okay. I think that wraps up the pitch portion of our event. So for the next one, we will have breakout rooms. It's using Zoom still, and you will get to meet all the other people who are participating in the pitch right now as attendees.
And
in
it's now
addition-
8 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock. We've been sitting in our chairs for.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, it's
Ron, you
up to
can make it. You
An
can make
hour.
it for another 30 minutes. Guarantee you. You're in the White House, man. You're in the Oval Office.
Man, you're in the
Well,
White
it's up
House.
to you, Ron.
It's COVID, man.
I mean, Howard's in Raw. Howard, your brand looks like Raw.
Oh yeah,
I
the
can stay
two
for a few
V's
minutes.
kind of look like a W. Yeah.
My day
Your
starts
V
at
is
7 in
a
the morning.
W, buddy.
Well, it's up to you. This is all voluntary.
I'm in.
So,
You never
okay,
serve
yeah,
us
you know.
dinner.
So
Where's
do you
dinner?
just click on the link or?
Yeah, so
How it works?
everyone, if you look in your chat right now,
Oh, yeah.
I just posted a link, a URL for networking portion, and it's zoom.us, /J/ all these numbers. So all you have to do is just click on the URL, and if you decide to participate, we will see you there.
Hey guys, so I came in late, so I didn't get to meet any of you. So did you guys do that before I got here? Did we all meet each other?
Now I know you.
Yeah, well,
Anna, how could you do that to us?
Well, if you want to take this opportunity to quickly tell everyone, about your company.
Yeah, that would be
investment
great because I'm
thesis.
always looking for people to collaborate with. So I'll go first. So Isaac Babs, I'm a longtime operating executive in Silicon Valley, mainly software. You can look at my LinkedIn. Last 6 years, I've really been an executive advisor, angel investor. And then just like in February, perfect timing, I'm a licensed investment banker. So I was going to bank first. I was going to executive advise second and invest third. And now it's really executive advise in some investing because the whole M&A market's just completely locked up right now, unless you have to sell. So that's me. I mainly focus on software companies, and I mainly do B2B. I'm in a. You can look at my LinkedIn, but I'm the real deal, and I invest my own money too. So it's I live in Hillsborough and San Francisco, and been around forever.
Wow.
All right, so I guess the rest of you guys, Ron, Howard, and Alex, want to give like 10 seconds?
Okay, 10 seconds. I'm very young in this space, so looking forward to connect with you all, and I'm looking for a mentor. So I think all of you can.
Is that because you're young or because you? No.
Do you want to tell
Because I
about?
want to.
tell us
Because I
about
want to
What
learn.
do you do? What do you focus on?
I focus in hardware and deep tech right now, but I really want to focus in one or two space right now. But I'm still exploring the one.
And then is it your own money or where's your money from?
Yeah, my own money.
Awesome.
Oh, it's from some of are my own money, but some of are from my CEO. He's pretty rich, so.
Okay, where are you from? Are you
Of
from
the company
the
that,
States? Or?
yeah.
I'm from the state. So I moved here when I was like 10. So
Okay.
originally from Guangzhou, China, like southern China. So kind of provides me with the background of like
Yeah,
manufacturing.
but you've been here since 10. But where are you located?
Oakland.
Oakland, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Let's chat. And are you gonna invite me to the next event?
Well, I'll be in touch. Yeah.
Sure,
So
sure.
what about Ron and Alex? Do you want to do like a quick 10
Sure.
seconds?
So
Yeah.
I'm in San Francisco in Noe Valley, so we're pretty close by. I'm in the gaming space. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. Had a couple of exits in the not 20, 17 years. That makes me feel younger. Every year counts.
Don't round up when you don't have to.
That's right, exactly. It's getting late. And so my company right now is called Others. It's a game change network. We work with game data from the games themselves. There's a ton of data there, and we use that data to operate challenges, letting players set their own rules and challenge each other and run competitions. So magically, here you come. They're going to survive.
Bring it
Ready
on,
to bet.
man. That's right.
All right.
Well, back when we could actually drive cars and stuff, you all remember those that time. I split my time between Menlo Park and San Francisco. The band is in the city, but we often meet. We have our normal place of business as much down here as we do up in the city. And we're still open for business in terms of online investing.
Right. So Ron, you're with the Band of Angels that you're with?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And
like,
what's going on? You guys, like, how often do you guys meet?
What was that?
How often does the Band of Angels meet?
We're organized by industry group, and we have 7 or 8 industry groups for things like biotech, energy, software, hardware technology, fintech, and each of those meets at least once a month. Then we have a member dinner. We all come together and look at deals together, and various other deal-related activities throughout the month.
Is that the group that was out of Los Altos Country Club for a while?
That's right. That's where we have our dinners.
Yeah, that guy. He's a German guy. I think it runs it. What's his name? What's the guy that runs it? Organized it.
Sobieski?
Yeah, I've been to a couple of
you were
dinners,
thinking back of Hans Severance.
Yes.
Who died about 16 years ago.
Maybe it's another guy, not 15 years ago. All right, good. I know who you are. I know Bill Loesch, but know him?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I spend the rest of my time on the board of the Angel Capital Association trying to figure out how we move the angel market forward. I was a VC for 17 years with Apax before that.
Oh, good.
So anyway, I'm sure we know lots of folks in common.
Good.
Wow.
Awesome.
By the way, Alexandra,
at the end.
Apax is a French company, by the way.
Oh.
You should know that.
All right, guys.
Did you hear that?
Thank you, Anna.
Yeah.
I hope this is useful for your group and for your companies tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, everyone's still attending right now. So they hear
Right.
everything.
Jack Ma in the group chat.
We go to this other link.
Take
See
care,
what's
everyone.
there.
Yes,
All right.
go to the other
Thanks,
link.
everyone.
I'm going to end this conversation.
All right, guys. Nice doing it.
Okay.
Hey, if I can help any of you, let me know. I got to send the love and the karma to all of you because we're all going to get better. All right. Take care. Bye.
Take
All
care.
right, yeah, good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
And I hope you stick around for the other
Yeah,
portion.
stay healthy.
Sure.
I'm the one person who's doing okay in this environment because I was an early investor in Zoom.
Oh, awesome.
Really?
Yeah, wow.
Haven't sold anything yet.
No doubt.
You are doing okay. I see these messages that say on top of Zoom, like, oh, there's a ton of traffic right now. So we have limited, ability to
Right.
respond. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to end the
Cheers.
meeting.
All right.
See you guys
Cheers.
there. Bye. Make sure you click on the link because I think when I end the meeting, it just disappears.